I just want to introduce ISHIBA as an organization to everyone that is interested in being a member of ISHIBA. ISHIBA is an NGO. That word ISHIBA simply means woman. It's a Hebrew word for woman. And ISHIBA is God-oriented organization. This vision has been given to me many years ago. And God helping me, I'll be very conscious, working gradually, and God being on my side, bringing right people around my way that I share the vision with, and by the grace of God, we'll be working together gradually until where we are now. By the grace of God, ISHIBA as an NGO, our target is to develop lives, is to help people realize their God-given potential. We discover that people are born in different homes with different ideas and different potentials, but at times, because of environment and lack of finance in various homes, they could not actualize their purpose in life. So in ISHIBA, we make sure that people that comes our way, in one way or the other, we have to develop them. That's why we have training. We train people in 5 different ways. We train people with the Word of God, which is the number one. Why we train people with the Word of God is because God is the owner of the organization and they cannot do anything without Him. And so our number one training comes from the Word of God, because it is the Word of God that changed the mind of a man. No man can do anything right if God is not in that person. And that is why in ISHIBA, God is first. Because when we talk of corruption, corruption is a thing of the mind. It comes right from the innermost mind of a man. And because it is from the mind, that is why when we share the Word of God and the person's heart is changed, the person's lifestyle is changed, the person's way of behavior is changed, the way his reason is changed, the selfishness, the greed, the covetousness is changed. The person will now see the need to help lives. He will now see the need to help humanity. He will now see the need not to have everything for him or herself. In fact, we preach the Word of God, we teach the Word of God, because even in this country, if our leaders, if they are in tune with God's word, if they know God, if they fear God, we won't be suffering what we are suffering today. Nigeria is very rich. It's a giant of Africa. But we are suffering because there is no single Nigerian. Everybody is every leader that comes to this country is an ethnic group leader, because they come to represent their own ethnic group. But that is not what's supposed to be. When man gives his life to Christ and he becomes born again and becomes spirit-filled, he will now desire to do the will of God, not his own will, and not what will please him. And then you will see now that people grabbing money, transferring it to overseas country, that will minimize, because they will not see the need for that. They will see the need just to do the will of God. Are you getting me? So what am I actually saying? We train people with the Word of God because we want God to be utmost in their life. Then after that, we train on agriculture, which is the base of this country. Nigeria is known for agriculture even before the invention of the oil. Even before the invention of the oil, it was the agriculture that brought us together. In the north, they have the agriculture setting of corn and groundnut. In the west, they have cocoa. In the south, they have palm trees and cocoa too. In the south. In the east, we are known for palm oil, palm trees. And then in the west, they also have rubber. But all these things, we neglected them and focused on oil. And today, oil is failing in the whole world. So we in ISHIBA, we bring back people's understanding to go back to agriculture, so that we'll have enough food. When people feel they eat and they are satisfied, they will not see the reason to fight. It's only a hungry person that will want to fight and kill. But when somebody has eaten and is satisfied, you will see the reason to be alive. So we teach on the importance of agriculture, the reason why we should go back to agriculture, no matter your profession. Moreover, in agriculture, you have enormous wealth, because whatever, if you use 5 million naira to farm this year, you will discover that your harvest you will be running at least in 10 million. In other words, your capital base is 5 million, but you have profit of 5 million. If anybody doubts it, you can try it. It works. Once you are able to be diligent with the farming and then you work on it, you don't allow weeds to cover it, you discover that you make great profit. So that's about the agriculture. We teach on entrepreneurship. We have more than 400 different ideas of businesses one can start and become somebody. All we need to do is to develop our God-given ideas and talents. And we teach people not to rely on any government, but to rely on the potential God has given to them. Because when you develop yourself, you can never imagine the level you will get to in life. When a man develops himself or a woman develops herself, you will be sure that your earning, no government worker can be able to stand you. You can discover that the richest man in the world is a farmer. Farmers are part of entrepreneurs, and anything you can do to develop yourself is you are an entrepreneur. And we discover that the richest people on earth are entrepreneurs. So we encourage our youth to develop their God-given talents inside of them instead of waiting for white-collar job. So that's on the entrepreneurship. We teach on health because in this country, I don't know who bewitched us. I don't know who actually bewitched us in this country, telling us that the natural leaves we have is not working for us. It's lie. God created the whole world, and in Genesis chapter 1 verse 29, God said He has given man the herbs, the fruit, the trees that bears fruit. He said it is for man's own food. It is a meat for man. So, in other words, when a man forgets about the natural food, that man will begin to die. You can discover that in the country, there are many chronic diseases today that cannot be handled. If you trace the genesis of those diseases, it's as a result of eating what a man is not supposed to eat. Today now, we eat all the junks and all, we call it the fastest food, but it's not good for our health. We teach people to go on natural fruits, on natural leaves, vegetables, on natural food that is developed in different country, in different areas of our country. Like if you come to the south, to the west, and to the south, there is a particular leaf, they call it hospital tufa. Hospital tufa grows in some certain area of the country. It doesn't grow in the north because of the harsh weather of the north. And so that leaf, people who lost blood and they are saying, oh, go and refill, they go and get blood, maybe blood, 1 pint of blood goes for 10,000 naira. You don't need to buy blood. When you get that hospital tufa, you can use it. Just wash it with salt, make sure it's clean, then you pound it and then use drinking water and sieve it. Then you add a little quantity of maybe malt or glucose. You are good to go. You drink it 3 times. That is 3 days, morning and evening for 3 days. It will amaze you that the person's blood will come back. Now, it is there in the south, in the east, and in the west. But in the north, it's not there. But you know, God did not leave them behind. God created the dawa, which every one of them cultivates. The dawa leaf works as that hospital tufa, because the dry dawa leaf gives blood. You just, it is being wasted in the farm, where people are clamoring for that they are losing of blood, they want to go to hospital, they don't need hospital. In fact, even before you get to the extent of getting loss of blood, you, after harvesting, the dawa leaf is dry, you get some quantity of it, wash it well, and then boil it for the family. Then you serve all the children, everybody. The children half glass, adults 1 glass. You take it for 3-4 days. You discover that no child, nobody in that family will be losing their blood. They will be very healthy. All these natural things, like you talk of today, people take what do you call it? There is a drug they take for high blood pressure, morning and evening, and those drugs are causing more harm in their system, because all those hard drugs, they have side effects. But there are natural leaves one can use, not just to control the high blood pressure, but to stop it, and that is soursop leaf. Anybody having high blood pressure, you just need to have soursop leaves, cut it in good quantity, boil it, and then you boil it like 20 minutes, then you sieve it, and you'll be taking 1 glass in the morning, 1 glass in the evening. The person's high blood pressure will become normal under 4 days. And if the person can drink it for the next 2 weeks, the question of blood pressure will be a thing of the past. Is that all? When you talk of this diabetes that they don't have solution to, diabetes is just a single leaf. Once the person is not having infection, if the person is not having infection, it's just diabetes. Natural leaf, just a tender mango leaf, you gather it in good quantity and then wash it well. Then you use 5 liters of water and soak it overnight. Then in the morning, you remove the leaves and wash it and pound it very well. Turn it back to that water and sieve it. And it's good to go. The person will take 1 glass in the morning, 1 glass in the evening. Before that 5 liters will be over, you will see that the person having diabetes, it has been overrated. There are many things we are missing because we left the natural use of nature and we are looking for artificial. Any artificial thing we eat, it has a little thing to contribute to our body, and it damages small things in our body. So in ISHIBA, we teach people to go back to nature. We teach people to go back to natural things. If you are taking much of fruits, hardly will you feel sick. Hardly. Because each fruit you take has it has the ability to sustain somebody. It has the ability to make somebody fit. Especially the pawpaw we eat in this country. Pawpaw is a wonderful fruit. The seed itself is another wonderful fruit. We teach people there are 17 different diseases only pawpaw seed can take care of. In our country, we eat the fruit, we throw the seed away. But in ISHIBA, we make people to understand what you can use the fruits to do. It's very healthy. If any young girl is taking the seed of pawpaw, it can never suffer of what they call fibroid. Infection cannot stay in the person's body, because all those things are natural antibiotics that takes care of one's ailment. It helps. Now today in this country, China, we export charcoal from here to China. And Nigeria is the largest export of charcoal. We sold the bag 2,000 naira. The people we are selling it to, we don't ask them what they are using it for. They are using it to produce drugs, and they will bring it back to us and sell it in thousands, give it a package, because we don't want made the Nigerian things. We don't want things that is made in our country. So they will go, carry it raw, go back to their country, produce it and return it to us, and we'll be buying it very costly, while we can produce it ourselves. Charcoal is a natural secret of health. It's a natural secret of health. Time will fail me to just teach on how one can prepare it. But it takes care of many ailments. including HIV positive, takes care of it. But I won't go too far about that. I just want to say that in ISHIBA, our desire is to help humanity recover. We do empowerment in all the states. Why we are empowering people now is not that we have all the money. It's from the little registration people are bringing when after the logistics, after we share it among the coordinators, the remaining one, we use it to empower the members, people that are less privileged, the widows, the orphans, those that cannot afford some things. At least this year, I want to say that God has helped ISHIBA. We have empowered not less than 15,000 people in different ways. We spent over 50 million naira in our empowerment, minus the rice and the wrappers we give to widows. I did not count those because I'm counting from the most from my own table. I've been able to empower people in different states. It's over 50 million naira. In all our states, through our state coordinators, I'm very sure in their little way